You deserve the world, Aaron Jones. And I hope some lucky team gives it to you. Grossi Packer Nation! Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. It was almost a guarantee that he was going to leave, but it still hurts. Grossi, and today we're going to be breaking down a couple of things, taking a look at Aaron Jones most likely leaving the Green Bay Packers as the Packers opted to not use the franchise tag on him. In addition, the Packers were awarded with 3 comp picks heading into the 2021 draft, and the NFL salary cap has been set for this upcoming season. Before we break down all of this craziness, I want to do a big shout out and thank you to some brand new patrons and YouTube members. First, over on the Patreon side of things, we have American Football International. Apparently this is an advertisement, and it says, check us out for football news, highlights, and analysis. Sounds nice. Then we have Vintage John Carranza Jr. We have Ed L. joining the royalty tier. And we have Austin Klein. A big shout out and thank you to all you fine folks. And over on the YouTube side of things, joining the Grossi posse, we got Thorn, we have Taco McDoom, phenomenal name. We have the Bearded One, also phenomenal name. We have Larry Stelmach, we have Cosmic Soul, and we have Dawn and Jeff. A big shout out and thank you to y'all. So, craziness is upon us, folks. We are officially 1 week away from the start of the NFL free agency, and last week, there was rumors that there was going to be massacres going on this week, and oh boy, there are a lot of cuts, there are a lot of re-signings, there are a lot of restructurings. A lot of those are just coming from the Saints, and we are going to break all of that down tonight at 7:15 Eastern. Over on the channel, we're going to be doing a live stream. We're going to break it all down, and plus it's an excuse to drink alcohol, so it's going to be a good time. But let's circle back a little bit and talk about Aaron Jones, the cap, and of course, getting some comp picks. Let's start off with the cap. The cap was officially set today at $182.5 million. This coming out after the NFL basically said, hey, listen, the floor is $180 million. And this, just an extra $2.5 million on top of that. Now, what does that mean for the Green Bay Packers? Well, the Packers are still around $9.4 to $9.7 million over the cap at the moment. And what that means is by next Wednesday, what they have to do is they have to get $9.4 to $7 million off their books. If they don't, bad things happen, end of days. It's not a good time. So they need to find places to essentially alleviate that cap and to, push it off to the side. Now, there's options like cutting Dean Lowry. There's options like cutting or restructuring Preston Smith. There's options like restructuring Za'Darius Smith. And there's a big option of restructuring Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Packers decide to do. Theoretically, they can go and restructure the Smith brothers, and they can restructure Aaron Rodgers, and they would be looking pretty damn good. But that would also require a longer commitment to a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and with Jordan Love waiting in the wings, there's no way of knowing if the Packers are willing to do that. So, of course, keep an eye out on this channel. If something happens, I'll let you know. And speaking of cap casualties, let's talk about Corey Linsley. We mentioned him last week, in which his agent and the Green Bay Packers haven't really spoken, and it looks like he's going to be heading to free agency and making lots and lots of money. So just like Aaron Jones, I wish you nothing but the best. I love me some Corey Linsley. But obviously didn't get the franchise tag to use on him. And of course, now we talk about Aaron Jones. There was potential talk about using the franchise tag, which the Packers haven't used in 11 years. But there was talks about doing that because it would have been roughly around $8 million. And they didn't. Now, right now, Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones are scheduled to spread their wings and go off to other teams in free agency, leaving A.J. Dillon in our backfield. This is why it's most likely going to happen, which we're going to draft a running back sometime in the later rounds, probably a day 3 pick, maybe even end of day 2 in the 2021 draft, because they need more than just A.J. Dillon there. Now, I also want to make something very, very clear that theoretically, it's still possible, before next Wednesday, Aaron Jones and the Green Bay Packers could sign a new deal. It's just highly, highly unlikely. There was talks that the Packers offered him $9 million a year, which is more than I already anticipated they were going to offer him. And Aaron Jones is going to get paid lots and lots of money. He's going to get paid a lot more by other teams. So it makes sense. And by the way, rightfully so. Aaron Jones was a 5th rounder. A 5th rounder. Then from there, posted back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2019 and in 2020. He was plagued with injuries in the beginning. He wasn't utilized by Mike McCarthy. And now this man's about to go get a payday. And you know what? Good for you. I'm upset that the Packers are not going to be able to provide that payday, but I wish a guy like Aaron Jones nothing but the best, and if they utilize him correctly, a team is going to be much better with Aaron Jones on it. So if the Packers do not wind up making a long-term deal with Aaron Jones, I wish him nothing but the best. Now, looking ahead at the 2021 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers were awarded 3 comp picks for this upcoming draft. A 4th rounder because of Blake Martinez, a 5th rounder because of Brian Bulaga, Iowa, and a 6th rounder because of good old Kyler Fackrell. Now, right off the bat, this is fantastic for the Packers. Maybe the Packers trade up because they package some of these picks together and they go, hey, Goody likes to trade up in the first round. He's done it a few times now. Maybe he does it again. Just giving the Packers more ammunition, and as we've already spoken about ad nauseum on the show, the Packers need young, cheap talent. I know lots of people have been hitting up my DMs and sliding in there and be like, Tom, what about this player? What about Emmanuel Sanders? What about Richard Sherman? What about Antonio Brown? No, because right now, first of all, we need to get to 0 for the cap, and 2, cheap young players. Maybe the Packers will venture out and get something in the bargain bin, right? They'll be sifting through the $5 DVDs at Walmart and go, oh, Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's worth $5. Maybe they're able to do that in terms of players. I don't know which player embodies Jingle All the Way featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you get the analogy. So this is actually a really pivotal draft for the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, they got a lot of heat last year and picking for the future, if you will. Though I will say, it gave them the leverage because if they didn't have A.J. Dillon, either 1, they would have been scrambling and hoping to get a running back in this draft, or 2, Aaron Jones would have taken them to the cleaners. And considering what happened with the cap, yeah, that would have been ugly in a contract that probably would not have been very Packer-friendly. So maybe the Packers know what they're doing. So let's see what they decide to do in this upcoming draft. But now they have 3 more picks to potentially bolster some interesting trade scenarios. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. What team do you think Aaron Jones is going to find himself on? Is he going to be on the Jets? Is he going to be on the Dolphins? God, they better treat him right. Let me know what you think. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. Again, we'll be going live at 7:15 Eastern to break down some of this craziness. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.